All right. What's up, homies? How's everybody doing? Here we are, another Monday. Hope everybody's weekend went really well. Glad to see everybody in chat. Looks like a nice little party going on over there. So, how's everybody doing? How you guys?
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Stellar.
Do what?
Dan says he's living the dream.
All right. So, living the dream. All right. That's always good to hear. All right. So let's get this ball rolling. Let's go over to James for that buffet line there.
All right, guys. What's going on, Ohmies, and everybody out there watching in chat? Thanks for tuning in and joining us for another episode of Vaping with the Ohmies. As always, guys, you know me, love the Dreamer, so I'm rocking my red aluminum Dreamer with that red US1 RDA on top. This is a Just Right inspired setup right here, that all red. And I got some Fralians from M of Band Builds in here, and gotta say these things are absolutely banging. Loving them. If you guys haven't checked them out, follow Band Builds on Instagram. Do great work, and you're actually absolutely killing it. Got some of that Turkish Harvest in there. That's that apple butterscotch, that new from M Turk. Absolutely loving that stuff. Also, I've got my limited edition Cayman Dreamer number 3 of 10 with that matching Lucid on top. Full solid silver internals. I got a solid silver 510 inside the Lucid, solid silver spring, and solid silver firing pin in this bad boy. And let me just say, it is chucking. I got some of that Bogan Brews Fair Dinkum. It's a fruit medley that goes pretty good with some apple juice if you guys are into that type of stuff, if you know what I mean by apple juice. Love that setup. And you know what? I'm gonna round it out with another Dreamer, green Dreamer, and this one also has a solid silver pin, solid silver spring with a black button, and it's got that that profile RDA by the one, the only, Mr. Just Right One, who's joined us tonight. Absolute pleasure to have him on. And gotta say, man, I'm absolutely enjoying this. Got a little bit of an over drip going on here. Inside of that, I got some of that peach tea lemonade by Coil Turd, a liquid for vaping. Absolutely love this stuff. As you guys know, I vape this on a consistent basis. And that's it for me, guys. I'm going to pass it over to my man, Ohm.My.Lanta.
What's up? Happy Monday to all. My buffet line starts off, usually as it always does, Luxatic, my work banger. Take that with me every day. And that, Bake Up Roast, Strawberry Zapper, Yellow Cake, Cream, Strawberries, Coconut. It's phenomenal. It's one of those like legendary juices. It never leaves. It always makes a return for me all the time. Double Barrel, Firelink Mesh, another work mod that goes everywhere with me. And that, finishing off my Blue Pucker by Tony B. Oh, back to Luxatic. I have a clown coil in here. First time I've had a clown coil and an atomizer. Phenomenal. Get them on clownvapes.com.
You're welcome, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Last but not least, I got my Red Dreamer.
Yeah, buddy.
Drop Dead. Love this thing. And another
Wait
big
to get my black button.
Sammy Nitro coils in there. Get yourself some of those too. You never lived until you had Sammy Nitro coils and an atomizer. They're
Damn Skippy.
Oh, yeah.
Another Bake Up Bros, Strawclet, strawberry and white chocolate. Phenomenal juice. Love that stuff. And that's all I got. Let me pass it over to my buddy, Vapor Swaggin.
Oh, hello. Thanks, Ohmies. What's going on, Ohmies? What's going on, panel? Thank you again, Mr. Just Right One, for being on the show. That being said, let's start it off. I've got White Owl Thunder with the profile in this beautiful blue, or Just Right blue. It's fantastic. Yeah, dude. And I'll tell you what.
That looks good.
You guys all have those fancy coils. I have some stock Canthal mesh in here by Watofo. And you know what? It's rocking. Inside of that, what am I vaping inside of that? Oh, lemon berry.
Yeah, dude.
Lemons and berry. It's delicious. Second, I'm vaping on the Dreamer. It's a brass Dreamer that I had custom Cerakoted. I call it my Dream Trooper. Black button, DHD bat tip on top, nub, and the Cosmonaut because it's my favorite RDA of all time. What am I vaping inside of that? Galactic Milk by Transistor. It's fantastic. Just try it.
Just do it.
Yeah, just do it.
You won't regret it.
Yeah, and so I'm vaping also on the Warlock's Guardian by Mark Clough, Warlock Mods, Gathering Vapor Lounge on Facebook. On top of that, I have the Warrior RDA. Inside of there, I have some Coil Image Fralians, and they're rocking. Those are actually fancy, so I'm liking those. And inside of that, I have Turkish Maze by M-Turk.
Yes.
Ooh,
And
nice.
it's really good. And finally, I'm vaping on the Infinix because, like I always say, it's the best thing that Smock has ever done and will ever do, probably. You can quote me on that. It's their one redeeming quality, and I love it. I want to buy more of these. I should have at least 3 or 4 of them just so I can walk from room to room and be able to vape on an Infinix. And that's me. I'm going to pass it on off to our special guest and the Supreme Stooge of Honor on the Ohmies today, Mr. Just Right One.
Rocking the smock.
There you go.
Smock Squad, bro.
Now that's the best thing that Smock's ever did.
Had to do that one for you there, my friend.
Thanks,
Man, thank you guys for having me here. It's an absolute pleasure and honor to be with you guys tonight. I am rocking 2 setups tonight. I got the Mike Vapes Recurve with the blacked out profile up top, and rocking that Luxottica with the profile, and it is the 22 millimeter.
Nice.
On top of that, and inside of both of those, one of them I am rocking the legit sweet lemon bar.
So
See
good.
that?
So good. I love that stuff.
It's a banger for me. And then the other one I have the just strawberry punch.
Nice.
Keep waiting for them to make the right line. That'd be really nice. Really nice.
Yep. That's just right. You know.
That'd be dope.
So I guess I'll take it and pass it off to Mr. Clown.
Let's get Poon real quick, and then
Oh, let's get Poon. Then PoonSauce. My apologies. Don't know how that works.
It's all good.
it's all good.
What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing? First setup I got tonight is like an old faithful of mine because it always works, even though the company is the company. But what can you do? It's my Vupu drag, that weird gold that I don't like, but whatever, with the ghoul on top. And there I got some crazy braided coils that my buddy made. And there I got some of my Casadaga cannoli B1, just like an awesome down-to-earth freaking cannoli flavor. And next setup I got is my purple people eater setup. I got my purple Hexone V3 with my Recoil Rebel on top, DHD tip on there, nice and pretty on there. And in there I decided to carry this out of the vault, some Air Factory Blue Raz. So it's pretty good. Yeah, something to vape. And then finally I got my Old Faithful, because I've never stopped using this thing since I got it, my Soul Pod system with the watermelon pod in there. It's amazing. And that is it. Now
What's the milligram on that?
I believe like 50, I think. Let's
Jeez.
see. Yep, 50. So yeah, that's me. And finally we can pass it off to Clown. There you go, sir.
Alrighty, so let's do this. First up, I got I decided to go a little retro here. Got the TM squared color changing drip tip on the Noisy Cricket 2.
Nice.
Yeah, rocking a series build in that sucker. Like
Yeah,
the
buddy.
one time I do, because otherwise I don't really vape series.
Oh, series of life.
In that, I got Kite in Clouds. What the hell is this thing called? Lanola Cream. It's like this weird creamy banana juice.
Sounds
And,
interesting.
next- Yeah, a buddy of mine just like came into work and just handed me the bottle and was like, enjoy. I was like, okay, sure. Could have been poison for all I know. Then next I got the V-God all patinaed out.
Ooh, Carruthers original right there.
Yeah, pretty much, dude. This has stayed in the rotation since I got it back with the
Don't blame
Azeroth
you.
on top. And this is the second reason why it stayed in the rotation.
Yeah, Marcellus.
Gotta get that Marcellus. And then lastly, Warlock's Hammer.
Ooh,
I keep doing this backwards every time I try to do
I
it.
do it too, bro.
There it is.
And on that, I got a goon. And my wife shows up in the background. And in that, I'm rocking some Blue Sid.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's me tonight. Let's do some shout outs real quick.
Ew, there's a bug in my apple juice.
Well, that's gross. Well, now that we've heard about the bug in Swaggin's apple juice, time for some shout outs. I'm a shout out, of course, the Cloths, Amy and Mark. Big shout outs to them, and the Gathering Vapor Lounge and Warlock Mods. Absolutely love those two. We're gonna shout out the one, the only King Tot, one of the original Stooge Crew members in the Discord. Absolutely got to shout him out. We've got Leslie Vapes, DC Rackley. We got Noah Rivera. What's going on, brother? We got the one, the only Shadowlink Vapor, who is known as Amish in the Discord server. What's going on, brother? Of course, Band Builds. Super big shout outs at Band Builds, because just Band Builds makes great coils, guys. You got to go check them out. We've got the one and only Matt Carruthers. Big shout out to him too, because I'm actually rocking a set of his coils and a Cosmonaut that are banging as well. And he does crazy patinas, if you guys haven't found that out already. We've got Brian Enoch, my man, always throwing back a cloud check on Fridays and on Mondays for the Ohmies and for the vapes too. So got to give him mad love. Black Cat Whiteface Vapes, always tuning in with the Ohmies, so got to give him a shout out. Of course, Coil Image gets a huge shout out because all of the Ohmies here love his coils, or at least the ones that have tried them so far. And some lucky viewer out there might be taking home a nice little prize pack. So keep an eye out for that, guys. We got Shadow. Who is that? Shadow, our Raven Shadows Vapor. What's going on? We got the one, the only Mama Raider, Livia Lee, Sammy Nitro, 5150 coils. We got Bill Lagarde Travis. What's going on, brother? Huge shout out to him, man. Of course, Miranda Jones, Jacoby Vapes, and yeah, guys. Is there anybody else you want to shout out, or let's just move right along?
We can move on.
Saint Cunty McFuckoff gets one because he's tuning in all the way from across the pond in the UK, and he's just got a dope ass username. So we'll end it off with.
I want to shout out Frank Wolf.
Oh, of course, Frank Wolf gets a shout out.
Kills it for us every week. Very good dude. Very good dude.
I mean, he even seriously messaged me as early as 7 a.m. Any new links I need? Yeah. I'm like, dude, I'll let you know here in a bit. I'm going to bed.
Like, oh shit, we got a show tonight.
But I mean, he's on it, man. Gotta appreciate the guy.
One more shout out, because I got to shout her out every time. Not So Scrawny Connie absolutely gets a shout out because she kills it with the Advocacy game on Instagram. If you guys haven't followed her yet, go check her out. It's Not So Scrawny Connie, and I believe it's underscores in between that as well. I'm not 100% sure, but if you happen to have her Instagram link, that would be great if you could drop that for him.
Oh yeah,
because you guys need to follow her if you don't.
Yeah. Alrighty. So you guys want to move on to some advocacy talk?
Yeah,
let's do it.
Sugar my ass. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this, but Mr. Just Right, you have your ear to the ground on some of the stuff. You know anything new that's come up since the last week, or?
Amarillo, Texas, place where I was born and raised, more than likely is going to get passed for 21 and up.
Really?
Not a good thing, guys. That is not a good thing. When it's 21 and up to purchase, that's something I don't agree with at all, especially when you have young men at the age of 18 that go off to fight and defend our rights. To be here and be disgruntled or upset or happy about today, I feel that them gentlemen should be entitled to do whatever the hell they please. If they're grown enough to put a firearm in their hand to go defend this country, then they're grown enough to make a decision as to what they choose to put and ingest inside their body. I will say, just spread the word. Do your parts to everybody. That's the only talk I can tell you, man. Every day, make it a point to speak to one person or make it a point to speak to 10 people. You know, if you step out at your office to have a vape and you see people there smoking, be sure to take that time to, share what vaping is. That's going to help us a whole lot.
Is it possible to contact their city legislature or anything like that, or you have to be from Amarillo to actually have a voice in that.
They're probably going to want you to be within their voting region. That's all it's going to boil down to. They care about votes. They don't care about people from the outside looking in. They care about the votes there. Miss Angela Garrity shared that information with me, and I'm not sure as to how far it's gone yet, but I know that is on the docket, and that's a very unfortunate situation right there.
Yeah,
we're just seeing the domino effect, city after city after city, 21 and up. And that makes it hard for brick and mortars. That narrows their funds down. Not saying we market to the younger audience, but 21 and up, dude, that takes a big impact.
Absolutely.
By that time, the damage is already done.
Yeah, I also hear Massachusetts is going to be doing the same thing as of January, where it's going to be 21 is the legal age now.
They already passed it.
From what I've understand, as of January, it should be coming into effect.
That's terrible. I remember, was it 2 years? I don't know if you remember, Joel, but like 2 years ago, they were trying to pass the 21 and over statewide. I don't know if you remember that, but they were trying to do that. Actually, I sent a letter to my representative, and they did respond, and they were like, "Well, I was on your side. It ended up waiting too long, so it passed, but the vote didn't go in enough time, so they didn't let it go through." So we kind of lucked out on that one, but yeah, that's just garbage.
Well, we're playing Russian roulette, guys. We're only going to get lucky so many times before we're going to get the one that bites us. That's the reality of it. If you want to play that game and gamble it, then gamble it. But I'm going to tell you, luck runs out.
Yeah, not so
chances are only limited.
She says, and cigarettes in the military are deducted and easy to get. It would be nice for them to have, to be able to have vaping as a choice. I 100% agree.
Yeah, for sure.
At 21 years of age, though, you think about the damage that's already been done to the human body. If they they started smoking at the legal age of 18 years of age and smoked until their 21st birthday, the damage that's been done in that time frame is almost irreversible. Not saying it is completely irreversible, but there's a lot of damage that is done there, and those are things that going to carry with you the rest of your life. Let's make vaping available for everybody. It's a safer alternative. I can say that. I will say that. I wish more people understood, but it's, what do we do, guys? I watched your show. You guys are very adamant on it. You guys had a campaign behind it. What do we do?
Yeah, all we can do is just make sure we spread the word, guys. Like Joel's saying, go out there and just talk to one person a day, or like he said, 10 people, because those people that you tell eventually are going to tell 3 people, and those 3 people are going to tell 12 people, and then eventually it's a trickle down effect, guys. We got to just do whatever we can, tell whoever we can, whoever wants to listen, just preach them the gospel of vaping, if you want to put it that way. You know what I mean? Just tell them, the life-saving factors that are behind it, and how it's changed your life and saved your life and many people around you, and just show them that there is some truth behind the actual health benefits behind it, because you're living proof.
There was a study I heard about this week. It was last week, about how vaping was helping people with, what was it, COPD?
Yeah, that came out last week.
That came out. Like, the science is there. They're just choosing not to listen to it because it's affecting their pocket. It's getting...
Yeah, that's what it really boils down to. It's
always what it boils down to, man. People that losing money are trying to get that money back in their pocket, and this is a way for them to do it.
Okay, Joel, there is one question I see in the chat too. So somebody says, so cigarettes are still 18, but vaping is 21? Or is it 21 for both cigarettes and vaping? That's what I would figure. Just wanted to get that out there.
It's all forms of tobacco. That's chewing tobacco as well.
Yes, dip as well. Yes, sir.
I want to bring up something that actually happened that was very interesting when I was on my way to work this morning. I was listening to the radio, and listening to sports radio, Chicago sports radio, just to pass some time while driving to work. And actually, a Juul advertisement actually came on the radio, which is very interesting about it, because they were talking about how it was about talking about like advertising a Juul and everything at the very end of it, which was pretty freaking cool. I was like, if you haven't started vaping, or if you didn't smoke, do not pick up one of these products. At the very end of it, I was like, wow, it was a classy advertisement. I was surprised to hear it.
You bring up, you pose a good statement for food for thought for a question on the panel. Mm-hmm. if you don't smoke, should you vape? So I'm going to go first, and then maybe you guys can give your opinions on it. But I think that if you don't smoke and you decide to vape because you want to, it's better than for you to smoke cigarettes. Because if you think about it, like I'm thinking about it in the realm of when I was 17 and I wanted to smoke. I wanted to smoke cigarettes because that was what was around. I thought it was cool. My brother did it, and then I got addicted to nicotine, right, or whatever. I got addicted to the whole oral
Fixation,
right? So I smoked cigarettes. So in this world, like if they phased out smoking cigarettes, is it okay, or would you be on the side of saying, vape? Would you rather someone start smoking at 17 or start vaping at 18 when they're old enough to vape, as opposed to starting smoking at 18 when they're old enough to smoke?
If you're going to do one, I'd say do the lesser of the evils, and that would be vaping. That's kind of my take on anything and everything, especially when it comes to raising my own children. Proud father, 3 daughters, all being 19 this year and college bound. I told them straight up, look, don't pick up vaping because it's like the in thing to do. Don't start a habit because then you got to feed that habit, and then that habit continues to cost.
Oh, yeah.
That's where my stand on the matter. I don't know where everybody else stands, but my thing is go with the lesser of the two evils.
Oh, no, yeah. As a parent, I'd rather they didn't start either, but if they did, vaping would be a more route that I would fight them less on. Because, I mean, they're adults. They're going to do what they want, but it's one of those, we'll cross that bridge when we get there, and hopefully they make a smarter choice than I did. But if they were to start some kind of habit like that, I think vaping would be the better one.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, agree.
I'm from the similar point of view. It's like if you're an adult and you're of legal age, you have the right to make your own decision to do what you like to do. So, if you're not a smoker and you decide you want to vape, that's on you. You know what I mean? Just know what you're getting yourself into, type thing. Don't just. I honestly would say don't do either, because you're just better off without any of it. But like everybody's saying, like if you're gonna end up doing one, vaping is by far your best choice. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so I think we're all kind of on the same page when it comes to that.
Everyone has their own vices. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Mine are always cigarettes. My son's only 4. When he turns 18, and if vaping is one of the vices he wants to pick, I'll take that over any kind of drug, alcohol, anything out there. If that's what he chooses. But I'm not going to push him towards that. I'd rather him not do anything. Same as everyone else is saying. But everyone has their vices. It's just I'd rather them pick the lesser of the evils.
Yeah.
Definitely. So yeah, my wife wanted to comment on the CDC bullshit thing that they posted at the end of August that Dan shared with us on Discord over the weekend. Yeah, you guys got to miss out on the angry typing she had going.
Oh
yeah, that was something.
All right, tell us about it.
Oh, dude. But yeah, that whole thing was just ridiculous when they released that whole thing of all the evils of vaping, and half of those things have been disproven. They still keep talking about popcorn lung, which
dude, they called it e-cigarette aerosol.
Yeah,
they called it aerosol. I was hot, dude. I was at a Tigers game and was hot, and my girlfriend looks over, what's going on? Like, you won't even believe what I just read. This is upsetting me to my core. She's like, well, enjoy the game. I'm like, it's kind of hard now because they're pulling out some really bad shit. Because everyone just hears aerosol and thinks it's bad, which it is. But that's not what we're doing. We're not blowing out aerosol.
Well, but when we're talking, okay, so let's kind of like clarify this a little bit more for people that may not know. By like aerosol, they're speaking about the actual vaping that's, you're exhaling. The actual vaping itself.
Exhaling is an aerosol.
Okay.
That's what they're calling it.
Here, I got it. I got it right here. What is an e-cigarette aerosol? And then it's got a picture of a girl blowing out vape. And it has in the vape, and they're trying to say what's in it. Volatile organic compounds. Ultrafine particles. Nicotine, cancer-causing chemicals, false. Heavy metals such as nickel, tin, and lead, and then flavoring such as diacetyl, a chemical linked to a serious lung disease.
See, they're just reiterating studies that have already been disproven.
Completely.
And
I mean, they even have the smoking, underage smoking stats on there from 2015 or 2016. It's like, can we at least update that somewhat?
Yeah, smoking and
it's just
vaping.
more of this propaganda that they're trying to put out there to spread the wrong information to people at the end of the day.
Well, ask yourself this question, and I've asked this question many times over. As vapors, and even myself creating things, having a creative hand behind the scenes in vaping, are we doing enough to ensure that our current vapors have an out, to work them to an out? Or are we working to keep them in the loophole, to keep them buying juice, to keep them buying hardware, to keep them in that? And I know that's not a very popular question to ask, but it's a question that must be asked, because me personally, I don't feel there's enough of that going on in the brick and mortars to advise people that vaping is an out and we can help you get to that out, instead of keeping you coming back and, oh, have you tried this? And here's the latest and greatest. You might want to, step your neck level up or step down and then sub on and get to higher levels. Are we doing enough on our end to ensure that smokers that transition to vaping can eventually transition to not doing either at all?
You make a great point, Joel. And honestly, I don't see a lot of that in the industry, to be honest.
See, the shop I started going to when I first started vaping, they were actually good about that. I mean, they started me on an ego setup, and I was vaping like 24 milligram, and every couple of months they were working me down. But by the end of it, they kind of got in that mindset of we're just trying to make money. So that just kind of like, it's one of those things, like, it really, that store used to be great, and it's kind of sad seeing what it's become. But years ago, they were a lot better about that. And I've only been to 2 stores in this area over here that really talk about advocacy, talk about this and that, and actually push a little bit more. But most other shops, they barely even know what they're selling. So it's just one of those things of, bro, no, it's a big no. The
rest of the panel?
I think definitely a big thing that brick and mortars need to do is to show the everyday smoker, the everyday consumer, that there is an end game. There's a way to start, the way to change your life, and there's also, we're here to help you show you that there could be an end. There could be an end to your unhealthy lifestyle of the smoking. That's what more brick and mortars need to do.
Here's the deal. We can't put all the responsibility on the brick and mortars, because they're getting you off cigarettes. You come in, they provide you with something, but you can't force them to come back. You can't force them to listen to you. It's a responsibility of the brick and mortar stores to provide an experience, an educated experience when you come in the doors and you have all your questions to ask, that you cater yourself to the specific client that comes in the door. What level of enthusiasm they have towards it, what level of curiosity, how many questions they want to ask. You have intelligent information to provide for them to answer that, and you tell them these things like, hey, this will be a good place to start. If you want to transition off, come on back, but just try this. We're just, you want to quit smoking, this is a good option for you. The typical stuff that we talked about on the show before, and even on the vape stew. Dan, you've mentioned it, like, what kind of smoker were you? How much did you smoke? Like, typical questions that we know are asked at a lot of brick and mortars, but it's not their responsibility alone. And we can't even expect that of these shops, because that requires them to be able to force somebody to come back and to be able to keep saying to them, hey, what are you doing? Like, let me hold you accountable. I mean, this is a world, it's a consumer country, and it's a consumer driven market. So they're just going to keep pushing stuff out until there are regulations to kind of slow the roll on that. I mean, they're like, I'll say it and I'll stand by it. There's such a thing as good regulations. I'm all for good regulations within our industry. It's the misinformation and the misplacing of that information to fit a certain narrative from a certain company or establishment that's trying to cut away something that they don't understand and that they can't control. That's what I'm not okay with. But when it comes down to it, it's a 50-50.
I asked that question because we spoke on bringing up the topic of vaping and speaking out to those that we maybe see on smoke breaks and so forth like that. A common question that I'm asked is, does it going to help me quit smoking? Is it going to help? Am I going to be doing it for the rest of my life? And I always advise people that, yes, there is an out to this. And I should have rephrased that because I put a lot off on the brick and mortars. But ourselves as a community, are we doing our part as a community to ensure and not inform people and educate them that, yes, this is a healthier alternative, but it can also be of assistance to help you stop completely. I think that's a mark that we miss in our community and in the industry as well, that this is also your out to get away, become nicotine dependent. No, we want you to not be nicotine dependent. If you started smoking, then you went to vaping and you never bought another vape product after a certain amount of time and you felt comfortable, your mindset was right, dude, I'm all for not having just a repeat customer that's just $1. And in a money-driven industry, I feel that's missed. And
here's
the
the deal.
Community, I think that's where the community can stand up better.
Can I speak to one thing? Because Noah Rivera in chat keeps mentioning, how, if they change the law to 21, they how can they do that if kids are already on it? It's not right. Here's the deal. You may watch vape shows. You may be a part of the vape community, and this may not be spoken enough. We don't talk about, addiction is not okay to anything. You don't need to be dependent on anything. We vape because we love vaping. We talk about vaping because we love vaping. We love products. We love the community based around it. Addiction is not okay, We don't condone being addicted to nicotine. We don't condone being dependent on these products. If you can vape at zero nic, that's great. To vape just for the sake of, all right, you need that, what did we say before, James, the oral fixation?
Yeah.
So we do not condone, and I think I can speak for everybody, but feel free to speak in your own mind if you feel differently. We do not condone, as the Ohmies show, and I'm sure Joel as well, an addiction to nicotine. We do not condone you being addicted. If they take something away from you, it's not right because I'm addicted to it or because I need it. I never want anybody that I know in this industry, any of my friends, anybody that I talk to about vaping, to need nicotine, to be addicted. I need this. That is it's not a healthy mindset. That goes back to what we're talking about. How do you get people to transition off? Well, Juul needs to do what they're doing and not have just 50 milligram. I have a nephew who's like, I want to quit. But with this Juul, it's like all I have is 50 milligram. It's like it's hard for him to transition off when all he wants to vape is a Juul, because thank God that got him off cigarettes. I've tried so many different things to get him off cigarettes, and he wants the Juul, but all he can vape is 50 milligram, right? And he doesn't want to vape anything else. And so going off cold turkey is very difficult for him because that's more than in a conventional cigarette. So we do not condone addiction or addiction to nicotine or a need to have to vape. Nicotine juice.
I'm glad you shared that because that just sparked something in my brain just listening to you say that. I've seen refillable pod systems. Those refillable pod systems for the Juul refillable pods for the Juul are designed for high nicotine salt nicks and so forth. There needs to be, and to this and see what I can get done. And I'm speaking it now, so if somebody hears this and has a solution to it, could be $1 million idea. A refillable pod system that's compatible with the Juul that performs well with lower nic level e-liquids to eventually get them down to a 0 or a 1.5 so they can start weaning themselves off where they got the oral fixation and the habit of having the Juul at all times, but now have an option to step down in their nicotine levels and eventually get to a 0 platform to where they can say, hey, you know what? It's just a mental thing now. I can set this aside and throw this away. And I can speak to this because I'm going to share something with you. I was addicted to opiates. And if you don't know what that is, that's your hydrocodones, your Vicodins, them things. I quit cold turkey. And the only way I was able to quit was having one damn pill on me at all times. Just the fact of knowing that I had it kept me off.
Dude, that's a good point. Think about how many times you tried to quit and you kept a pack of cigarettes in your glove box just because you knew it was there. I don't know if you guys did that. I used to do that. I'd always have a pack of cigarettes somewhere, so I knew. Because if I didn't have it, I'd go out and buy it, or I'd be thinking about it all the time. But knowing I had it on me or had it accessible was what gave me that willpower, to not smoke them, which is weird. But
I used to wear cargos to work so I could keep the bonus pack in the cargo pocket and then the regular pack in my regular pocket. just in case.
That's what I do with pod systems.
But like, okay, talking about the whole like nicotine. Like, I know in some groups when you talk about like reducing your nicotine and stuff like that, we do kind of shake each other's hands, pat each other on the back. But I don't really like Joel was asking, I don't really see many people encouraging it, like, hey man, how long have you been on this? Have you thought about going down or something like that? Or have you guys encountered something like that at any point?
Well, we always congratulate the guy that comes in and says, hey, I quit smoking, been vaping for 2 years. I quit smoking 2 years ago, off the stinkies for 2 years. Okay, well, do you have an out? Are you looking for an out? Not everybody looks for an out, though. Let me get that clear. Not everybody looks for an out. But we need to congratulate those that want to find an out and help them achieve that goal.
I can speak on that. For me, I don't have an out right now. I like my 3 milligram nicotine. That's where I like to be. I mean, taking the first step on not smoking cigarettes, I feel I've come leaps and bounds from doing that. But I work in a shop, and whatever you need when you come in, I'll help you. If you have questions about lowering your nicotine, that's what I'm there to help you do. I'm not forcing it down anyone's throat like, hey, man, you've been on that for a little while. You should go down, because I wouldn't want anyone doing that to me. When I'm ready to go down to 1.5 or 0, that I feel that's my responsibility on me to make that choice.
And exactly. Think about it this way. When you're, I don't know, people in the audience, people on the panel, when you're smoking regular cigarettes, right? You ever try to quit cold turkey and the negative effects of nicotine withdrawals, it sucks. But it's like when you wean yourself down, like I got myself down to 3 milligram. I've been on 3 milligram for like, a year and a half, 2 years almost. And at some point I could vape 0. And then when I wanted to quit, when I was ready to quit, it would just be a mental thing. It'd be like, all right, well, it's just a cessation. Or it's just that fixation part, and the enjoyment of vaping. But I no longer have to worry about the irritability, the appetite fluctuations, the mood swings, stuff like that is associated with, the effects of nicotine leaving your system. So
hypothetical question here. You got down to a 0 and you eventually stopped vaping. I personally would still consider you a very dear friend of mine. I would not isolate you or keep you out of any conversations or any future endeavors in which I shared. Ask yourself how many of the other people in which you've come across could say the same or would say the same to you and mean it.
I don't know. It's tough. It's something that I haven't thought about. I haven't talked about. Go ahead, James.
No, I was about to honestly say the same thing. It's something I've never really thought of, to be completely honest with you, Joel. Like, that's never really a thought that's popped into my head,
I think what keeps us here is this fight to save vaping. We're really ingrained in it, and we have a lot of friends in the industry. But the thing is with the Discord, with the community that we've created, with the Stew crew and whatnot, we've created some real, like, well-rounded friendships that just aren't based on vaping alone.
That's why we're here.
Yeah, exactly. But we created this show, and we've kind of grown out of that, and are still part of it, obviously, but kind of not grown out of in the sense of, I can't fit in these shoes anymore. It's like grown out of, meaning like we've been inspired by and created our own entity outside of the Stew as a result of our passion for trying to save vaping. And that's what we're focused on right now. It's not even about us individually. I haven't even thought about me and like, when do I plan on quitting,
And guys, all these questions round into one thing, because we do want to save vaping. I firmly, in thinking about this, because this is not something I just think about when I'm on a live stream or something. It's something that plagues my mind daily. In order to save vaping, it's going to take that mindset of being able to inform people and educate them that this is also an out. I think when we wrap that up together and start preaching that as well. Yeah, I know you can't say it by their FDA standards. It's a safer alternative, then this can help you quit smoking. But once the community starts educating people on that, not necessarily the industry, because they're in it they have their motives. I'm not going to say all of them are money-driven motives, but they do have motive. Once the community starts educating that and letting people know that, I think we may start brightening some horizons and opening some different avenues to go down with people, and knowing that, hey, we can not only help you stop smoking, get you to vaping, but vaping can eventually get you to be nicotine-free and live a 100% healthier lifestyle, not just a 95% healthier lifestyle. That's why I ask these questions. I just wanted to sum it up into that. And sorry to throw you guys off on the deep
Oh no,
end.
you're
I know
good,
you
man.
Oh no, you're good, man.
Really
You're
good talk,
No
honestly.
Spirit.
These are-
honestly, man, like,
so that we're right in the element.
yeah,
like, I mean, these are good questions, and even then, like, I myself have thought, especially since I'm a DIYer, so I have more control over what I vape. I've thought about just going zero nic and just straight flavorings and see how that goes, but I'm still kind of like a full toss up on that one because I did get some juices that came in zeros and they were fine, but that nicotine was just needed. So I'm still kind of there in that limbo. But you know, there is an out. I mean, I've met people who have quit. Like I've given them a setup, but like, hey, vape this, and then a month or so later, I'll catch up with them, and they're like, yeah, dude, I put it down. I haven't even touched it in 2 weeks, and I haven't even picked up a cigarette. And I'm like, good for you, dude, because that's what it's about. That's the point.
To go off your point, Clown, of like, you know, not knowing, you know, whether you want a 0 nic or a 3 milligram nic. We're in an industry where there's a surplus of methods and products to choose from.
Definitely.
And there's ups and downs in the industry, and things leave and they come back and someone does it right. And we have somebody here on the panel right now that did it just right. We're talking about the Profile Mesh RDA, something where like the mesh didn't work in the past. People have tried it and it's failed miserably so many times. Thank God I didn't buy or try any of those items, because all I've seen is something that gives me phenomenal flavor and works perfectly. So can we talk a little bit about the Mesh RDA and the implications it has on the industry right now?
Absolutely.
Let's transition.
Before we swing away and transition, I got one more thing to say. Klein, as a do-it-yourself for any liquids, consumer standpoint for me, the lowest nic level I've been able to see and buy is 1.5. Just think about this, Klein. You don't need an answer tonight. But what could be done to graduate from downward from 1.5, gradiently downward from 1.5 to a 1 to a 0.75 to a 0.5 to a 0.25 to a 0.10 to a 0.05, then to a 0? I mean, that would be something to think about, Klein. And I would love to chat with you in private about it one day and kind of see what we can come up with. If you had some you wanted to try out, dude, I'd love to be your guinea pig.
Oh, definitely, dude. And I mean, we have some juice makers and DIYers in the group too. So this is something we all can really hash out at some point.
Good deal. Yeah. Future topic.
Yeah, let's get back on.
Back on the profile.
Yeah, profile.
I know there's some things I'd like to say about this as well, because like Swaggins, I've never tried any of the other previous mesh RDAs, RCAs, or anything out there. I have tried a few mesh sub-ohm tank coils and have had nothing but great flavor off of those. And I've got to say, man, with this, I've been absolutely enjoying it since the moment I set it up, man. It's super easy to set up. You know, the deck it's pretty self-explanatory. You know, they give you a wick that's literally the perfect diameter to put right through there, you know. And I even actually, the second time I wicked it, I literally took a full strip of cotton bacon prime, and it was the same diameter as the Watofo wick, so it was just perfect. I even reused the little plastic end from the wick that came with the Watofo and just slipped it on the end of the cotton bacon, slipped that right through, and it worked perfect. I even kept it around, so the next time I wick, you know, I could just wad up the end, slide that over there, and just push it right on through. But yeah, man, I've been really enjoying it, man. The airflow is smooth.
Here's the thing that a lot of people say about it, and I can understand. If you've ever had mesh before, or you know about mesh, when you vape it, you can be a little weary. Like when you first start vaping, because you're afraid that there's a lot of surface area and it ramps up really fast. That if your cotton isn't touching the whole surface area of that mesh, that you're gonna get a burnt hit, or you're gonna get like a ferocious Canthal, you know, hit or whatever, and it's scary. So like it's something that's like a stigma. But as you get like any product, you know, any new set of coils you try, any new resistance you try, I mean, for how long you want to vape, you test it out. You figure out how it works. You, by a certain point, you know, with a certain dripper and a certain build, you know how many rips you can get off of it at how hard until you got to re-drip it again. Similarly, with the profile, it's the same thing. You just need to kind of baby it at first a little bit to figure out where's the perfect place for you. Make sure that you got full contact. I mean, we have the guy who made it right now, so I'm going to stop blabbering on, and I'm going to let you speak to that a little bit, Joel.
Speaking on that, and I want to make sure everybody understands this, that the fear that is brought about with mesh, I completely understand. But you guys have no idea how good it makes me feel to know that people have entrusted me with that experience. It's like going swimming when you were a kid. You know, you didn't trust anybody to take you swimming. You wanted to be with your mom or your dad, and you held closely to them and tightly to them until they, you know, weaned you off and showed you that, hey, it's okay, it's okay. And then they taught you how to swim with your arm floaties, and then you started swimming by yourself. People approaching mesh and entrusting me with that is one of the greatest privileges and honor I've had in my time in the vape industry. I mean that wholeheartedly, guys. That is like, I may buy into it more than most people do, but this is my everything. This is what this represents me. And to know that people have trusted me with that endeavor and avenue is phenomenal, man. It's a hell of a feeling. I knew that going into it, it would be an uphill battle.
Yeah.
The initial impact may not be great, but through time, I think this is something that's going to stand the test of time, and that's something I wanted. I didn't want to be one of them vape products that was in today and out tomorrow. I want it to be something that people continue to talk about for a long time coming. The name on it, my name is on it. Yes, it's something I've created, something I'm proud of. But don't remember the name, remember the change, because I want to see this push forward and get them gears sparked for other people to how they apply mesh in RDAs moving forward and RTAs as well. I mean, it's a concept and application that can be modified and reformed or refined to better fit different situations. And I look forward to that. I really do.
Question on that. Now that you just sparked something in my brain, does that mean we may see a profile RTA come out?
I can neither confirm or deny that question.
Oh.
I will tell you that it is something. Mesh is not just a one-time thing for me. It's something I personally enjoyed. Even with the other products that I had via mesh, they were just so finicky to get right. But once they were, it was wonderful. And I wanted other people to have that experience as well and get to know that mesh is in vaping, our batteries have evolved, our e-liquid has evolved, our mods have evolved, our atomizers have evolved. Our coils have evolved, you know, from Canthol to Niachrome to different grades of Niachrome to nickel, titanium. I mean, different elements all the way around. But one thing that hasn't just really evolved, the heating element itself. Like we went from basic round wire to flattened wire to braided wire. Will mesh. The heating element must evolve with vaping as well. If we want to continue to evolve, we're a young industry right now, and I capitalized on that opportunity and seen an opportunity there that I wanted to be a part of. And I'm honored to do so. I really am. I had no idea it would be as good as it was, though. I'm blown away by the feedback.
I'm excited because, you know, high risk, high reward. You took a risk. We all can admit to it. You can admit to it. You took a risk. I mean, you believed in it. You didn't think it was a risk. You knew that. You knew that it was going to be good. The risk was like, what was everybody else going to get it, right? Now people are seeming to get it. There's been, you know, the big names. They've been enjoying it. They've been surprised by it. I'm excited to see that. As a result of your ability to say, I'm going to put my neck out there, you know, when the blade is like a 6 inches away from it because that thing's been dropping slowly, you know, more and more every time someone's come out with something and it's flopped, you know, especially as your first project to put your name on something like that, like to Morton Owen that shit and then fucking blow that shit out of the water. You know, I'm really excited to see the change that it instills, to see the innovative change. We talked about innovation a little bit on the stew last Friday, but this kind of innovation in the sense of, all right, well, this is a whole untouched, untapped side of things that's just on the fringes of sub-ohm vaping, you know, but the hobbyist vapor hasn't had a chance to really get his hands on this yet and really succeed with it. So I'm really excited to see where it goes.
It was a thought out plan. Everything about it was meticulously gone over. How the ease of build, how easy is it to build in, how easy is it to get right, how it can't be too finicky, because if it's finicky, people are going to mess with it one time, they're going to be done with it and throw it out the window. I wanted to ensure that it was super simple, like to simplify it to the greatest levels, because there's people out there that have sub-ohm tanks and they've never had anything else ever.
Could you say you wanted it to be hashtag just right?
It's on the box. I don't have to say it because it is on the box. Just right.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
I got a question for you, Joel.
Go ahead.
Okay, with all those mesh RDAs that came out, which one would you say inspired you, sparked it in your head that said, okay, I enjoyed this mesh RDA the most. I want to see what I can do in my head to make this kind of product better. If you had to pick one mesh RDA or atomizer, which would you say made that spark in your head saying, I'm going to do this?
It's funny you ask, because I was actually going through doing some organizing yesterday, and I put my hands on the one that done it for me. And it wasn't just using the RDA itself, but watching other people use this RDA. And that is the Mesh Pro RDA.
Okay.
Right there. And of course, I haven't used it in forever, but it has a very unique build deck in it and the clamp systems in there with a platform. I noticed whenever I built in it, no matter how I built in it, that if I tried mesh, that the airflow wasn't right. The airflow set below the build deck. I'm like, well, they're a great concept, but they went about it wrong. And I was watching another live stream. It was Mark Fagan. And I know some people say, you watch Fagan? Yes, I do. I watch a lot of people and support a lot of people. But I watched a live video of his where he fired it and flames came out the top of his drip tip. That is on film. It's documented. And he said, I think he even threw it to the trash can. Said, I'm never trying mesh again. I'm done with it. That's it. And that moment, I knew that, hey, this has to be addressed. This must be pursued. Why? Because I believed in mesh as a heating element.
Definitely.
Well,
so that's it, the Mesh Pro.
As we transition to our Juice of the Week segment, and I'll give that honor to Clown, but or I just did it, but fuck.
Yeah, transition.
Can we just?
Like I was just gonna say real quick, I've only tried like the Falcon tank with the mesh coils, and I was pleasantly surprised with at least that thing because I haven't tried sub-ohm tanks since the top box came out.
Oh, jeez.
And that really, you could tell, was a game changer. So I'm excited to see if I can get my hands on a profile at some point. And
well, that's a good question. Where can people get the profile? Where should they buy the profile?
If I'm going to suggest a place for you to buy it at this moment in time, I would suggest Vapor DNA, Element Vapes. All the big name distribution companies have it. I notice a lot of brick and mortars are starting to pick it up. But those names right now online, I would say Vapor DNA would probably be your best bet for a quick shipping time.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yeah. Ordered mine, got mine 3 days later.
To say something, I 99% drip all the time. The only tank I have is a mesh tank, and that's the Fire Loop mesh.
Wait, did you just say 60% of the time you drip every time?
Yes, I did.
Good.
I love your form of math. And I will say, I enjoy the profile as a squonker. I'm getting a lot of feedback from a lot of people that are enjoying it as a dripper.
Honestly,
Joel, just rocking it in dripper.
I would tell you, I've been rocking it as a dripper since day one, and I've been absolutely loving it as a dripper. So I can only imagine how good of a squonker it's going to be. I'm actually planning on setting it up as a squonker this week and trying it out, putting it through its paces and seeing what it's about. Because honestly, as a dripper, man, it's passed all of my tests with flying colors, man. Like flavors on point, airflow's on point. I love the fit and finish of the whole thing. It's just all around just a great atomizer, man. I really don't have one complaint.
Dude, it's such a
well,
smooth,
I've got to
quiet,
ask you both for a complaint. What would be your con? If you had to give a con for it, what would it be from both of you gentlemen with it?
Quick review.
And put me on the spot.
Okay. I can tell you. A build con. I can't see my airflow on the blue one when I close it down because it's the same color. Now some people might like that. For me, it's like if it was stainless, I could see it quick and easy, whatever. For a new person using it, for someone who had never vaped mesh before, was the dry hits, was like the not making full contact throughout with the cotton. Now you guys provide that big chunk of cotton, you have that spring system, but I use different cotton when I first built it because not a lot of people use the cotton that comes in the bag. I didn't put enough cotton in, so I was like stuffing it through the sides, and then I was vaping on it. I wasn't trusting it. When I put the right amount of cotton in it, I got a good experience, but initially I was scared of the thing because I haven't had a burnt hit. I haven't had a burnt hit in like 2 years, and I'm really proud of that.
For those that don't use the cotton within a bag, use it as a reference for the amount of cotton in which you're going to need.
Yeah.
That would be one thing I would say to that. How about you, Mr. Franklin?
Well, like I said, to add to that point too, like I told you guys too, I use just a regular full strip of cotton bacon prime and just cut it to like the size that I needed, or like width-wise, to span the deck, and it was spot on the right thickness of cotton. So there's a little tip for you guys too, if you use cotton bacon prime. One full strip. Just don't.
That sounds like swag would be a good.
I'm sure native wicks would probably be good as well because it's about the same thickness.
Like, would you say it's about like that
Yep.
kind of thickness right there?
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep. So there you guys go. You don't have to peel anything off. Just put it in there like that. Like Swaggin says, the one issue that I do have is the airflow. I do have a problem because I have the gunmetal one as well, and I do have a problem seeing through the holes to see where the airflow actually is set. I did also have one issue the first time wicking it where I did have a couple hot spots, but that was my own doing. It's because I actually thinned the cotton out on the sides, and then the second time I wicked it, I didn't do that, and it kept everything pressed up against the coil, and I didn't have that issue. So it was definitely a learning curve for me, just because I've never used any mesh type of element before. But like I said, after that, the second time I've wicked it, I haven't had any issues since. Been running great flavor, like I said. But yeah, that would probably be the only.
It's a really interesting experience.
It is. It's different. That, and I'll tell you guys out there too, if you're expecting a really warm, hot vape from this, with the coils they provide, you're not going to get that. But I will say I did take it from like a regulated mod, running it at like 65, 70 watts, and throwing it on a tube with a fully charged 30T that I've gotten here. And the experience I get off of like a mechanical mod with a full 4.2 volt fully charged battery, I really dig the vape experience off of it. It's like I said, it's not that warm vape that I'm used to, but it's a nice, dense, really flavorful vape that I'm really digging at this moment, to be honest.
Speaking of warm, flavorful vapes, let's take out everything except for flavor in that. And then why don't you go ahead, James, and tell me what your flavor of the week is?
I'm going to kick it back to a couple of months ago. I haven't vaped this in a while, but it's still one of my favorite juices. I'm going to say the Millionaire Mango. If you guys haven't tried any of the Millionaire line, I don't know what you guys have been doing with your life, but you need to try it, because not only is the mango delicious, the OG's delicious. I've also had the raspberries.
How long has that been steeping, James? That looks dark.
Dude, this has been steeping for a while, bro. I've kind of had this set off to the side, just letting it steep up, getting that super steep action.
I went through that 100 mil and that 60 mil that I got, and I think I finally out millionaire myself, so I'm taking a break from it.
That's what I did. Is I took a break from it before I didn't like it anymore, and now when I go back to it, I'm just gonna have that nice, super steep deliciousness.
Nice.
But yeah, that's gonna be my juice for the week, guys. What about you, Dan? What's your juice for the week?
It's one of my go-tos, man. That strawberry zapper by Bacon Bros, man. I know you don't do coconut. I'm sorry.
Sammy Nitro's been talking that up in the Discord server too, man. He says it's
so slight coconut, but if you don't like coconut, you're not gonna like it, because no matter how you vape it, there's gonna be a little bit of coconut. But that's Bake Up Bros. You can get that on independentvapor.com. It's one of our affiliates. Bob Pesh is the guy that makes it, and he's got a wonderful line of juices. Good stuff.
Nice.
I'll pass it over to Mr. Just Right One.
So my juice of the week is going to be legit sweet lemon bar.
I need to get some of that.
I need to try
that stuff right there.
I haven't been able to put this stuff down either, man.
And I want to give a quick shout out real quick to Independent Vapor Company. They're a big part of something else I do away from the Vape Stew and away from the Discord app, and that is the Helping Family group. Always, they're the first to step up and say, hey, We want to be a part of that. Whatever the cause, we want to help the community. And for that, I got to give them a big shout out and much respect. Independent vapor companies always coming through in the clutch. Really appreciate it.
Best people I know.
I'm going to pass it off to PoonSauce Mcnasty.
The
Okay.
Mcnasty.
I'm not vaping it right now, but I would kind of wish I was. I recently it's been steeping in my drawer for a while, so it's really steeped. I'm gonna pick Pineapple Lush by Twisted Treats.
Ooh,
It's a very, very creamy pineapple milkshake. It's amazing.
that sounds delicious.
And then, yeah, that's me. I'll pass that over to Mr. Swaggins.
Oh, hello. Thanks for the pass. Speaking of passes, the Patriots beat the Texans, and I just wanted to say that my friend Stan loves the Texans, and I love the Patriots, and I love you, Stan. My juice of the week probably shouldn't be a surprise. Definitely won't be a surprise to anybody on this panel, but Galactic Milk by Transistor, dude.
If you guys only
yes.
heard how many times he has mentioned this juice in the past week, you would understand.
Yeah,
Like,
I need to be on the
love
group
is
more.
real for this juice.
Really.
dude, it's so freaking good. Like Tango Melon was an instant heartthrob for me. I think Tango Melon, my new side chick is Galactic Milk, and Tango Melon is jealous.
Of everything TSA took from me, my Galactic Milk was one of the things I was most upset about.
I would shed
I'm
one
very
solitary
serious.
tear for that shit, man.
I would have cried too, bro, because that stuff is pretty banging.
All right, who's left? We got.
I
get
Clown.
we get to bring it home with Clown Vapes.
Yeah, I got M Turk's Turkish Maze.
Ooh.
Dude. Okay, like I'll be honest, like Mama San's Grand Slam. It's one of my favorites. I wish they changed their stupid branding because it's actually a really good juice, but the branding is very idiotic, and I've even messaged them about it. I haven't got anything back, so it's one of those things, but this is actually beating it at the moment. I know it's supposed to be like a butterscotch cornbread and stuff like that, but this actually tastes close to it, and it's beating the hell out of it right now. So I think I might make a conversion there.
I went through a 60 ml and it tastes like that cereal Pops, corn Pops.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
Dude,
you're right.
I'm saying I got it in here. It's friggin' bomb.com.
So good.
I just started vaping it today though, so it wouldn't have been fair for me to say that one.
No, yeah, I've been at this since it came in Saturday. So yeah, I've been enjoying it.
Awesome.
Yeah, my bottle was given to me. And speaking of
Giving.
giveaways,
Ooh.
transition.
Okay, guys. Well, we've had a giveaway going on to where if you have been seeing on all of our Instagrams, we've been promoting the hell out of this little coil pack we have given away, which what you had to do to enter was you had to go to iQuitSmokingByVaping.com, get that picture. If you could see it right there, I smoked for so-and-so years, I quit vaping by blank, using flavor vapor and all that stuff. And you had to use Prohibition Doesn't Work as a hashtag. I quit smoking my vaping. And the one main important one that you had to use was Ohmies Advocate, which if you did that, you were entered in a drawing for a little coil pack giveaway that our lovely buddy, Mr. Coil Image, creeped up for us.
Clown's got it. He can show it off.
Yeah, show it off.
Let's get some pickles in chat, please. Pickles in chat.
Here, Clown, present yourself really quick and show everybody.
I don't have a pickle emoji.
Yeah, just
Yes, I
do a semicolon pickle.
I just did.
So yeah, you get lovely tools, some wicking, scissors, screwdriver. For
How
like,
many coil sets are in there?
let's see,
Don't
1,
tell 'em,
2,
Connie.
3,
Keep them
4,
if you don't count 'em.
5, 6. You get some Freelians, you get some aliens.
Thanks, brothers.
Beautiful. Like my camera won't focus because it's stupid, but oh, there it goes. Look at that.
Those are
Or maybe-
nice.
Is that a pickle or a cucumber?
I think it's a cucumber.
Those
Uh,
look like cucumbers.
They look like ears of corn for a second.
Oh,
It's
you
a
need to
cucumber.
yeah, you
Banana,
should type cucumber in chat. It's a fucking pickle, man. Go ahead,
So
sorry.
I don't know if you guys want to. Here, let me see if I can screen share.
And to add to that giveaway, I found out about it. I'm going to add a Bravo RTA. Comes in gunmetal and color, bubble tank, brand new. I'm going to send that to Clown, and he can send it out to the winner as well with that build kit.
Yeah, and Cat Coils also is putting up some coils too, so I'll get with him and give
Why'd
him
you
your
delete
info.
that?
So you got. Okay, I'm gonna present. you guys want to present me, that'd be awesome. So
You know why we're so happy about this giveaway is because it's for advocacy. This isn't just for likes.
no.
This is for, hashtag advocation, right? Advocating for adults, advocating for adults who like flavors, right?
Let it go on an advocation.
We're really proud of those who got involved, and we want to reward one lucky person with some good shit.
Okay, so screen
Definitely.
share.
We like to advocate.
Okay.
Advocate.
So if you guys
Yo,
want
close
to
the freaking chat, bro.
hold on.
There
Okay.
you go.
Okay, so if you want to present me, that'd be awesome. So I
Wow.
can,
Well, that's on
Well-
YouTube forever.
Yeah.
I didn't say
Okay.
nothing bad about nobody.
Bye, James. Go to random.org, bro. There you go.
Oh my God, dude. Come on, Corey. That's the last time we keep you in charge of a giveaway.
okay. Well, I got the randomizer going now, so I'm going to do it 3 times.
Times, and the third time is the winner.
James going
trip-
now.
That tripped me out for a second. Hold on. Okay. So here we go. We got 12 people entered. I think it is, yeah. So there's everybody's name. So we're going to do 1.
You got 7 messages on Discord, bro.
Whatever. 2. And then here's for the winner. We're going to choose number 1 for the winner. And that is Bad Mother
Bad
Trucker.
Mother Trucker.
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
Dude.
That's awesome,
Our
man.
boy.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Well deserved.
Have him DM you, PoonSauce.
That's a happy moment right there.
We'll get your info, and then we'll send this over to you. So I'm going to stop sharing right now.
Yeah, just hit me up on Discord. I know you're on there all night.
So yeah, congratulations, Mr. Bad Mother Trucker.
Congratulations, Bad Mother Trucker.
You're going to
One
love
of
it.
the filthy casuals in the Discord
Oh, yeah.
server.
We
Rigged.
might have to hit him up on there.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Doesn't
And I'm
look
still
like he's
presenting.
on.
Awesome, guys. Well, what do you think? You think we ran a few minutes over? We are having too much fun.
I think we've done our
We
due
were.
diligence.
How do you want to present me?
I'm not gonna unpresent you.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
I'm gonna just make him say the outro. All right, guys. I don't know where Joel went, but
I got one
oh yeah,
thing.
you had one thing.
You can give me 1 sec. If you guys could keep my grandma in your prayers, please. She's having surgery Wednesday to get a mass taken out. She's got
Yeah,
lung.
man. Absolutely. You guys hear that? Just send some, some prayers and, some
Definitely.
positivity and love Dan's way. Hopefully everything goes according to plan and she makes it out, better than ever, man.
Yeah,
Definitely
buddy.
in my prayers.
Definitely.
And, definitely in the
That's
rest
what I
of
thought,
these
man.
prayers, for sure.
My thoughts.
Hey, you got a Jew praying for you, and you know what? God listens to the Jews.
But we're good then. We're good.
Yeah, buddy. You're good. Grammy's good.
Please, I
Double
appreciate it.
prayers.
Absolutely.
Dan, if you need anything, let any of us know, man.
And if you guys haven't yet, go follow Ohm.My.Lanta on
Yeah.
Instagram and just like every picture he's got on his feed. Just
I know.
like bomb the shit out of him, guys. Just
Yeah.
show him
Blow
that
up
we
his
love
phone.
him.
Throw some
I do.
cucumbers up.
Yes.
How
Thought I
much-
could do that a little easier, but it's tough. So thank
Yeah,
you.
No, dude.
Yeah,
Definitely.
absolutely, bro.
That's
absolutely.
that's how you know it's real, man.
Yep. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us for another week. I did put a link in the description for Mr. Just Right One's YouTube channel. Go check him out on there. Go buy yourself a profile. Enjoy some mesh. Take some of the tips the guys gave here on the show and all that kind of thing. See if that helps you out. Not screw it up the first time. And there's waving behind me. And follow everybody on Instagram. I have all the links on the description. Do you guys want to throw out your Instagram accounts real quick?
You guys know me, Frames116. Advocacy, whatever you need. That's what I've been posting.
Dan, what's your?
Atlanta.
There
Go
you
check me out.
What about Mr. Swaggins?
Tenacious TX Vapes on Instagram.
Slowly creeping up to 10,000, right?
And I go by Vapor Swaggins on Instagram.
Vapor underscore Swaggins.
Right
That's
on.
it.
For me, it's gonna be PoonSauce __ Mcnasty. It's not
Don't
hard to
forget,
find.
guys. It's actually Mr. Just Right One for Joel. Make sure you guys go give him a follow as well, guys. Show him some
There's no
love.
just
because
right.
Joel, thank you for being on with us tonight. We really appreciate it.
Always a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having me. It
Thank
means
you
a
for
lot to me. It really does. Thank you guys for having me.
It means a lot to us too.
Hard questions where we all went. I don't know. I've never thought of that before.
That was good.
He
That
makes
was
you
good.
think.
That's why you gotta love Joel, man. He
Love
makes
Joel.
you think.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
Puts the thought in your
Absolutely.
head, which is always awesome.
All right, guys. So catch you guys next week. Catch you guys on the Discord group if you're part of the group. If not, join Vape Stew. Check them out on Fridays. What is it? 9 p.m. my time, so CST, 9 p.m. CST.
Yeah.
Figure out your time zone.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that hard. We
All
only
the
live in 4
Ohmies, we
different time
place it like
zones.
it's like for me it's Eastern, you it's Central.
Me, it's
Frames, it's
Pacific.
Me, it's Central. Yeah.
All right,
Because he
so
appeared like
we'll
7
catch you guys later. We'll see you guys next week.
Vape on, friends.
Home.